Evening, everyone. I thought we'd kick off a little bit early because I figure we got probably a little bit to talk about. Wait, is this clickbait? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah, and I'm fully aware. Usually in situations like this, I have a little bit more information than everyone else. Being like an insider, I actually don't know any more than you guys. So I'm going purely off of what's being posted around Reddit at the moment. The French Shadow news has just finished. I don't speak French, so I can't really explain anymore. But I'm going to jump to, this is basically all the information I have at the moment is from this PDF document from 2CRSI, who is the server host for Shadow servers in the EU, I believe in the US as well. But just to alleviate any concerns, I guess, early on, if you're a US user, this, whatever is coming out of this, good, bad, maybe not good, it doesn't look like it will be impacting the US too heavily. Mostly kind of EU, UK. I have to say those separately now, Brexit. But yeah, basically what it's saying in this, because somebody summarized it on Reddit, it was a pretty good summary. This is a 3-page PDF, which basically says that 2CRSI holds on to about £30 million worth of server hardware, of which £10.8 million of that is utilized by Shadow. But currently, as of today, Shadow, owe 2CRSI around 3.7 million euros. So it's a chunk of change. Essentially, what 2C, the server company, I'm tired of keep saying 2CRSI. Essentially, what they're saying is, obviously, since the start of the pandemic and the increased price and the increased demand for high performing hardware, essentially, which is what their data center is filled with, then it looks like they're obviously getting a lot of offers and demands from other people who are like, we're looking, we need some server space, we want to utilize this, and we'll pay you. So, it's probably well within contractual agreements that if they fall behind, as it looks like they have, then they're well within their rights to take that back. I'm not saying that's what's happening. Obviously, that's what we've got to find out in about 15 minutes, but I just thought I would jump on now. We take a look at this, have some speculative time to ourselves, and then we can watch the actual live stream. 15 minutes. So if you see me looking up, I finally got a second screen because I had intended to check out the alpha for Shadow with their second screen support. I'm wondering if it will still be there to test now. So, but it does mean that I haven't got a stupid laptop off to the side to read your comments. They're just all up here. So let me know what you think, and we will discuss. Hopefully they don't shut down. Great. Considering it actually is, it's not just like for show and like what have I been called before? What's the word? I mean, I've been called lots of things before. A shill. A lot of people thought I was a shill, and I just like advertised it but didn't use it. It is my 100% like daily driver for playing games and editing all of my YouTube videos. So yeah, I'm same boat as absolutely everyone else. I seriously hope that that is not in too much trouble. I think all high-end PCs in the cloud base have closed Liquid Sky, etc. So that wouldn't be a surprise. Zero chance my computer can handle Rust. Oh, and Rust is low end of that spectrum, I'd say. Obviously, if you want to do a Cyberpunk or something. Soldier 3000, how you doing? I was concerned when Blade joined forces with Equinix, or whatever they were called. The other server hosting peoples. No. Yes. Yeah, they are. Shadow owes me 2.5 billion. They owe me 8.5 trillion. Is it actually shutting down? We're going to find out. Only ordered via your link the other day. Yeah. If you were looking for the EU, I think their wait time, we're on their forum now. What was the last activation wait times? I would like to think this isn't something, depending on what we find out, that this isn't something that they've known for a long time, that's the reason why all of the Ultra and Infinite specifications for the EU were inevitably put off. And they, having known this for a long time, they were just like, let's just keep delaying it and not actually say, because that's kind of shady. But what we're looking for is Paris, and if you order today, yeah, I thought it was December 2021. Am I streaming from Shadow? No, don't. It still works. It's right there. No, we're just going to be watching their Twitch stream, so I'm just on my local PC. It's easier for all the screens and stuff that I'm now just getting used to. Do we think they didn't pay EU company over the pandemic power shortages? I don't think it was intentionally web withholding funds for X reason. I think it's just like a lot of startups, liquidity management can be very difficult, especially when it's something like PC components. And yeah, certain things I could say, certain things I won't. And that's more just my experience with them in the past. December, I was told. Yeah, if you order today, December is the, well, not that I would recommend ordering right this second. I would say maybe wait. So a couple of people saying about price increases, if they did that instead. I don't see a lot of people being happy about fronting the bill so that it can stay open. Now, this is a comment I can get behind. Imagine if Elon Musk owned Shadow. Yeah, well, the servers would be hosted on Mars. It would be awesome. And use Starlink, which actually is average performing. It's just impressive its reach because it's satellite, right? So I don't think there was anything else. Like, it does mention US within this document. It does just say this is just for general information. So 2 CRSI is only aware of one procedure concerning Blade SAS. The US subsidiary, which is Shadow, is split into two. SAS is Europe and Blade Corp is the US. Yeah, very, very interesting times. I mean, there were things, obviously, with the 2021 roadmap that they were talking about. There were things on there that I don't think they had because some of them were like such advances in the base product that I don't think they actually fully intended everything to be bundled into like the current boost price, like 12 quid. Like, that would be financially irresponsible if they keep working and keep developing a product and don't adjust the price based on that. So I think they had mentioned that some of the things might be like kind of like what they do when storage is available. Like, you go to your account, you're like, I specifically want this, and you can add it onto your subscription, and that way they actually get some return on investment. But speaking of mini PC is just a paperweight, obviously we were supposed to be getting Raspberry Pi. There we go. Brain is working. Haven't just done 8 hours of work. Yeah, we were supposed to be getting Raspberry Pi support, and there was going to be like competitions and everything running for that, for who can like 3D print the best Raspberry Pi. Gonna basically stick it. I made a Raspberry Pi case. Shadow is still cheaper than my RTX 2080 on eBay. Absolutely. Shakir, no idea. We're going to find out in 7 minutes. I'm going to keep this up just so it doesn't start without me knowing. overused money they don't have. Right now, it's that we blame Mark's brain farts on getting old. I mean, I was hoping somebody was going to mention the birthday balloons in the background and say something, but that's fine. It's cool. Only 100 people here. Nobody has to say happy birthday to me. The guy from Control? No idea. No idea. Wonder if there's anything else on Reddit. I get the dirtiest adverts come up on Reddit. Knows me way too well. Gonna be. Let's go for new. Let's see. Somebody took apart their Ghost advert. Latency is good. Oculus Quest, yeah, we know. That is the only post about it. So, strange. What's with the balloons? That is 30th birthday. Thank you very much. Aware people have just started spamming happy birthday. And funny enough, that was on, it looks like the day all of this happened. It was 28th of February. And that's when it looks like all of this went down. So yeah, birthday is a curse. It actually is the 28th. I know somebody else I spoke to today said their son's was on the 29th. So even though they're 21, they're actually 6. Five minutes. Yeah, that's a good point, because I said just as we started this, the French news was finishing up, so nobody's taken to, or even like maybe Twitter. Just search Shadow. It's the most like, yeah, it's not a very specific search. I think we're going to get too much other than guys over at Cloud Gaming Extreme. Awesome. Well, Stadia as a platform overall. Actually, that's a good point. I'm going to cancel my Stadia Pro subscription. I decided after the last drop. I have no idea why I'm still paying for it. I'm not paying £10 a month anymore for indie titles. I played a bit of Savage Planet. I already had it on xCloud. Avicii Invector, Pac-Man, Raidens, and I heard Pixel Junk Raiders is just mind-numbingly boring. So yeah, I think I'm going to cancel it probably this week. This is just them streaming previously.
Seats and not a lot of people there. Huh.
But this is US. Again, reiterating probably most of the stuff that we've talked about that we've got from this document all seems to be that it's impacting EU, UK, and probably not the US. I heard Little Nightmares 2 was good, and I don't think it's worth paying £10 a month for anymore, though. That is like, you look at the just they're weirdly specializing in indie titles, and I don't know if it's, you'd like to think it's that they can't get the agreements with big people, or they're not putting enough money behind it, or it's too difficult to port the AAA games over to run on the Stadia platform. You'd like to think it's all of those reasons, but I don't know. I was going to say I don't think it's it's as powerful as they said it was going to be. Obviously, we've already had stuff about it doesn't run at the resolution they promised. They were a little bit not cautious enough at describing the resolution, saying everything runs at 4K, and there should have been a little star that said upscaled from 1080p. But the main thing that just confuses me is that obviously from their announcement, they're like, this is the teraflops of the existing, obviously back at the time, this was teraflops of the Xbox, and this is the PlayStation 4, and it's going to be like better than both of them combined. Well, I'm not seeing it. Like, something with that many teraflops, why are you just adding reigns? And like, even the tags they're giving these, indie. Pretty sure a lot of these just say indie. But that one's not. Right. 9. Live. Yeah. We in. So the Bitcoin mining stuff, they mentioned in the last news video that it seems to be Latin America, who the latency is higher, but it's just about usable. So it seems like Latin America have been able to sign up to the Texas data center, and that's why that one, and I think Chicago got impacted a little bit. Mainly Texas had been impacted in terms of quality. Okay. Very somber start. They know they're live.
So it looks like we are on stream right now. Yes. I'm sorry. It looks like there was a technical mishap. There seems to be some echo.
Yes, just mute them till they sort that out. Never seen Luke looking so sad.
Was it in your end?
Yes, my fault. Wow, so we are off to a really good start for this very evening.
We should stop texting for late, right? Okay.
So here we go. Let's reset back to 0, and we can restart. Act like nothing happened. So welcome everybody to this.
There's a joke in there
Shadow News stream
about acting like nothing happened.
Joined by a very fresh face that you guys might not know. So Stefan, who is the co-founder of Shadow.
Yes. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Kind of talk about who he is, what he does with the company, and then we can go from
the
there.
desktop volume a little bit.
Hey, so I'm Stefan. I'm indeed a co-founder of Shadow. I'm currently the general counsel of the company. I created it 5 years ago alongside Emmanuel and Asher. And I'm among the founders group. I'm the kind of the non-tech profile and more business profile because I was initially trained as a lawyer.
Cool. Thank you. So why are we here today? So before we jump into kind of the main topics, we're gonna discuss why we're here. I'll ask Stefan a few questions to get some more clarity on the current situation, and then of course, last but not least, we will take all of your questions on stream with Stefan's expertise. So the big question is obviously, why are we here today? Why is Stefan here today? So Stefan, could you just tell us in a few words the current situation?
Sure. The situation is that we've been carrying out a fundraising exercise for some time, since mid 2020. Hired an investment bank to do that, and despite our efforts, our attempts to raise money in a classic, straightforward fundraising haven't worked out, and so we are now essentially carrying out a fundraise in the end, although it's a fundraising of a particular type because it's going to be a bankruptcy proceeding type transaction. So we did file for Chapter 11 protection in the US and its equivalent in France to allow an outside investor to join, inject funds into the company. and take over the operations.
And so, yes, you hear words like Chapter 11, bankruptcy, but this is mostly positive news for us rather than negative.
Right.
Yeah,
Just
it
to be
sounds like
clear,
it might be a
the
technicality.
purpose of this legal proceeding is to make sure that we continue to deliver the service, and that we finally do carry out that fundraising, which we had in mind, although in different circumstances, but that we do carry out this fundraise, which will allow the company to grow and deliver on its promise to replace as many as possible of the local PCs of this world with shadows instead, which is something we've been doing pretty well, I think, in terms of the technology and the product. But so far we've remained a relatively small company with not enough users and with too little capacity to deploy infrastructure to serve our users. And so the whole purpose of this is to first continue to improve Shadow as a product, and enhance our ability to deploy as much of it as we can.
Exactly. So it'll really give us the opportunity to start fresh, and give us a chance to accomplish what we did not accomplish in the past, with new beginnings, with a new foundation. And Shadow as a product works really well. We have great results. Our users, you guys are here tuning to us, love the product for the most part. And we really think there's a vast potential for this. So this is not even close to over. And that's the main message you have to remember, is that we're just getting started. So I want to reassure you guys, everything's going to be okay. Jumping into the more some more details. For you, looking back on Shadow's history, what do you think worked well and didn't work well, and what are things that you'd like to kind of adapt to for the future?
The things we did right, I think, was first of all, the initial vision, I think, made sense. I think there's no point in having local computing with a processor and graphic card inside your local device. I think our initial vision that it is now possible to replace pretty much any PC with a cloud-based system like Shadow is a valid one. And I think that our tech team proved that vision to be right. I think the product now does what it was meant to do in the first place.
Yeah, I think Nick pretty much summed it up quite well. If you have a look at Nick's comment.
And as you know from other sessions of Shadow News with the tech team, we also have an ambitious program to roll out improvements in the future. But overall, the product is something that we did well, and what we didn't do so well is actually scaling. So we have a product that has there's massive demand. There are happy users, and yet we are so far unable to deliver it to as many users as we could. So in terms of delivery and execution, I think we have lessons to learn, or we've learned lessons from the past, and I'm hoping that this transaction will allow us to do well what we haven't done so well in the past.
Okay, and so the service itself in the coming weeks during this process, are there any impacts for users that they should know about, or is it business as usual?
It's business as usual, and part of the immediate consequence of the proceedings we're launching in France and the US are that nothing changes to the service other than continuing to improve it on the tech side. Other than that, data centers will continue to run with our servers inside, and so there's no change in the service, no massive change. This being said, the proceeding itself is not going to be a very long exercise. It shouldn't take more than a couple of months, and so service is unchanged, and transaction should come pretty fast.
Yes, so rest assured, the service remains intact, and it will continue as usual. Our product team will continue to develop the product as well. We'll even have a set of news next week about kind of our upcoming features. So really, things remain steady and calm on the product side, and we're just trying to figure out the financial situation of the company. So that leads me to another question that I think will be probably asked quite a bit in the Q&A. Is what is the status for Shadow Ultra and Shadow Infinite in all this?
There again, status is kind of unchanged. So we, of course, we hope we could accelerate deployment. The truth is the proceeding doesn't change the fact
I think
that
it's like 3.8
we have too little
there.
of it to deliver it to all of the users who would like to get it. Our hope is that the upcoming transaction will help us in that respect. But right now, there's no immediate change.
Okay. And so while this happens, like what can we tell our users that will happen in the coming weeks during this investment process?
Well, what makes us very confident that this proceeding and the transaction that will come out of it is not going to impact the users and the services, also that we've received very strong indications of interest from certain investors, including some who are well-known industry players.
This was going to be my question, if anyone is actually interested
the
right
resources
now.
And the ambition and the vision to help us grow Shadow. So in terms of timing, I think the transaction as a whole will be done within the next couple of months, but it's likely that more news will be released in the next during the course of the process, and possibly even in the next few days.
Okay. And so with that being said, we can now switch over to the Q&A part of the stream and start answering some of your questions. So we do really want to also thank you guys for joining us and kind of showing us some important love during these times. So don't be shy. Stefan is here for the first time. Remember, he's our co-founder.
So they haven't talked about what will happen if they don't get an investor, just mentioned that they already have interest from a couple of key players in the industry, so they're confident that a transaction would take place within the next couple of weeks, months, sorry.
Yeah, have we said who's buying us? No, we haven't. There's an ongoing proceeding, so it's not like we can give information right now. All we can say is that we have very strong indications of interest from competent people.
Oh, good, some competent people.
And then the stream is full of questions, and I have no.
So I see a good one. I think this will also speak to the level of our conviction of our product.
HP is a good shout. I saw they released a bunch of new gaming peripherals.
Oh, there's no future if we don't find an investor, but we are going to find one. So there's no doubt that we would have loved to find one ready to invest at $1 trillion valuation. The Chapter 11 proceeding means valuation is actually going to be zero. The good news is that at that valuation, we are extremely confident that we'll have an investor.
Yes, I mean, we've had the results. We know that our U.S. market loves us. We even had one of the guys from One Direction tweet about us 2 days ago. So there was quite a frenzy around that, and he reached out on his own, telling us how cool the product was. So there is the demand for Shadow, and we've seen the results. So for us, it's not a matter of not finding an investor. It's more finding the correct investor that will help us really fulfill what we achieved, what we wanted to achieve from day one. I saw a question about people who have pre-ordered Shadow Boost and are currently in queue, how that will impact them. For now, there are no impacts to you. You will be assigned a Shadow when it is ready. And it, like Stefan said, it is business as usual. So don't worry about that. Your service is not impacted to that. Are there any other questions that you see you'd like to grab?
Our price is likely to be impacted. This is a fair question, but not one that we can address immediately, because obviously this is the kind of important decisions that we can only make with our new investor when the transaction's done. Sorry, it's going too fast.
Yeah, it's going very fast.
It says the ship is sinking. Well, it's not sinking, right? They're
changing
like
captains.
Luke said, the intention there is a fresh start. So the truth is where the reason we are obviously in this is that we can't self-fund our operations. We are still in a startup phase, and we lose more cash than we don't make enough cash from subscriptions to cover all that we have to pay. So there's obviously a structural need for fundraising to happen. Now, again, what will happen after the transaction is that we will be stronger to effectively deliver on what has been our project forever, because of the extra funding, but also because of the lessons we've learned from certain mistakes we've made in the past in terms of underestimating certain difficulties in relation to infrastructure deployment, the complexity and the timing of it.
Answer
and
this
so
question.
I am
because
I'm very confident that
I don't know if 2CRSI will hold the hardware in place for the next few months while they're trying to source an investor.
So I keep seeing a question that keeps popping up that we already addressed, but if Stefan, you could repeat yourself.
No, yeah.
What is the deal with Shadow Ultra and Shadow Infinite during this situation?
Sure. Well, it's unchanged from what it was before. So there won't be any massive new deployment during the proceeding, obviously, and there won't be a shutdown of any servers either. So I think we'll continue to onboard a number of users, as many as we can. However, it's likely to be a limited number of users compared to the demand.
Yes, so during the proceeding, Shadow Ultra and Shadow Infinite, I'd say, are on hold for now, until this new investor comes in and also kind of gives us his vision and plans for how he wants to look at things. So they're still on the table, but it also depends on how things go with the new investor.
I see a question. I see users willing to invest, and we'd love to accept that. Now the proceeding is kind of special, so it's unlikely to be available for crowdfunding types of exercise. Yeah, so about the servers, the one of the just so everyone understands, our server equipment is mostly either leased or acquired from third-party partners, and obviously in the long term, we can only continue to use them if we make good on payments with respect to the servers to the extent we haven't acquired them already. And so the proceeding itself kind of ensures that we can continue the service, and then obviously the investor will take over and make sure that we can continue to use the servers we need for the service.
It sounds very unbusinesslike and very polite.
Same questions over and over again.
I don't think
going from this to what they're saying.
For us to work with suppliers, I think
it's very different language.
You know, the reason you go into Chapter 11 is because we have failed to pay certain suppliers on time, and obviously it's an uncomfortable situation for them. I think the end result of all this is going to be that we'll have more funds to fund our operations, and our suppliers are going to be happy that we are a better credit and stronger and more able to pay them on time. We do not currently have a roadmap to open new data centers. This is the kind of like price changes.
Yeah, basically what Thomas just said.
Long-term plans. This is the kind of decision that will require a discussion with our investors. What are the negatives to this? Well, to the Shadow users and to the future of Shadow as an operation, the overall impact is likely to be very positive. Now, as a founder and shareholder, I do feel like there has been a big negative impact, which is that my shares have been essentially wiped out. And the same goes with the shares of co-investors who have supported the company in its first years. So it's not all positive. There are partners and including banking partners and shareholders who will be adversely impacted by this. Is there a method for serious investors? I think if you write to me, I'll be happy to respond.
Just have to offer 3.8 million
I would love
to
to blame
cover
the
their debt.
situation on the COVID. It has impacted us to a certain extent with delays in shipment of certain IT equipment. It's also made our fundraising exercise more difficult. But at the end, we can't really blame COVID for the current situation.
And can you tell people what are the current companies or individuals that are potential investors?
No, we can't really say this.
Wait,
it's
I know how we can pay off the
it's
debt.
too early to say. I do expect that some of the most serious
I'll buy it.
suitors will make their interest public in the near future. I see a lot of product related questions. Luke, I don't know what you think. I guess they'd be better. It's better for JB to address them. Or
Yes, I mean you can try, but
I like how with
I
this,
can try and then I can be wrong. And
yes,
with this, people are still
blame for
asking
being
like
wrong, and
product
people will say,
questions in this type of
lawyers.
news. Is just
And
quite
so
funny.
I'd rather leave them to JB.
Yeah, let's take that risk, and let's stick to what you know best is more of the legal side of things for Shadow. So a lot of these questions we still just can't answer because, like I said, we're still going through the process right now. There's still a level of confidentiality, and just legally, we're not able to speak about a lot of these things you guys are asking.
Maybe a few. I can take a few, right? So will there be a change of personnel? I think the core reason for investors to look at the company is that they like our tech and they like the team that designed our tech. And so I don't think that there's going to be a massive change in the team. They are the one key reason they may want to invest is because of the team. The rough time frame for this is a couple of months. No service is not closing. If Shadow goes dead, it's not dead, but we've been cash constrained for a few months now, which has limited our ability to deliver additional ghosts. What went wrong? I think we kind of addressed that. I mean the reason why you end up filing for Chapter 11 is that you're running out of cash, and our company is losing cash. And one of the reasons it's losing cash,
a couple of months is how long they predict the
we're still paying for
transaction to take. I guess
some
it's called
investments made a long time ago, which are still impacting our cash flows, and we've made some mistakes. We've made some mistakes in the past, which leave room for operational improvement in the company. So there's and I also responding to some other questions I saw in the thread. There is room for a profitable Shadow. I do think that it will come from probably an evolution in the mix of specs and pricing, and the addition of verticals beyond Shadow for the company. But this is going to be part of a more detailed plan that will be released when the investor is known.
So let's take a last few couple of questions, and we can wrap this up. Just so you guys know, after this, we'll also be releasing a blog post recapping kind of the high-level information of what was discussed on stream, and we'll also have an FAQ for everybody for your.
At which point, when they're done talking, I'll comment on my thoughts and kind of summarize, and I'll probably do a recap video this weekend as well.
Fun you'd like to grab?
No, I'm just super grateful for the comments. I'm happy that we did the tech part. I think we need to continue to improve it, and I think we owe it to you guys to keep improving Shadow and deploy it to the level of the demand.
Well, thank you everybody for the very kind words. It does mean a lot to us, and you guys coming out here to listen to us speak. We've seen nothing but support the last few days, so it's been really cool. And yes, Black Hat EU. Luke is an investor. Maybe we'll see. I might throw my hat in the ring. We shall see. But thank you guys, really. It's really very, very cool to see this. So on that note, we can finish. So I think I just wanted to kind of wrap this up with the key takeaways of this stream. So I think what's most important to all you folks is that the service remains fully functional. There's no impacts at all. You guys will continue to use Shadow as normal. You'll have the same service, so no impacts there. And so in terms of the process, it should take a few weeks to go through all of the just the process itself. And of course, once we have concrete information, we will communicate the details and next steps for the company and for you guys. Is there anything else, Stefan, you'd like to add to that?
No, just a big thank you for your support, everyone, and very happy to have been in my first Shadow News in 5 years. Thanks, Luke.
Hopefully you'll come back soon. I hope so. Not in another 5 years. And don't forget, we'll be releasing a blog post about the situation after this. We'll also have an FAQ, and we will be back next week on Thursday with JB to talk about the products and the upcoming releases. So with that, we wish you guys a good night, a good afternoon, and a good morning, and we'll talk to you guys next show.
All right. So what did we think? There were about 100 questions during that. I didn't just want to be talking over the top of it, just so that we had, all of the information. I wasn't just filling in bits that I didn't hear after. So if anyone had a question that they wanted to repeat, then feel free to drop it and we can talk about that now. I will do my best now to just summarize what this means without any of the, business fluff. So essentially they're saying no impact to the service at the moment, but yes, one of the questions was Chapter 11 is the US version of Bankruptcy elsewhere. I think they said that means that sometimes you'll see a business that will go for like £1. I think he said their price is at 0. That essentially means that an investor comes in and takes ownership of the business without paying upfront for the price of the business. But what that means is they'll take on the debt. So as we could see from like the 2 CRSI information, it was like 3.5 or 3.8 million euros for just that. And then there'll be a whole bunch of other things as well. But yeah, they're not necessarily saying, okay, well, it's just going to shut down now. What this means is they now have this window of opportunity for it to be picked up by somebody else who's willing to take on that debt and keep progressing it, essentially. So there's a couple of questions about like price, and then that's all things we would need to wait and see now. Basically, whoever comes in to take ownership of it will they will be in charge. Essentially, they're saying a lot of the people who have shown interest so far have shown an interest in the people who run the business. Well, not maybe not the people who run the business, because the business side of it is not doing so great, but the people who develop the business, they're developers and they're tech and they're interested in that. So hopefully that means there won't be like a turnover of staff. That in turn hopefully won't impact a lot of the stuff that we've already talked about this year for their 2021 roadmap. From a business acumen, you don't say we lose more than we make. Yeah, and one of the big things somebody asked about, like every stream, somebody asked about the Ghost. Like up front, from what I've heard, they don't make any money on the Ghost. It was a fun venture, but they are a software and a service company. They're not in the business of hardware and the everything that entails, the logistics to get a product manufactured in China, ship it over, distribute it to customers. That is not their ballpark. They're a software provider. So it was a fun venture, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they've been unavailable, because they're produced in China. Everything's slowed down or shut there, so they couldn't produce them anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty sure every time they sold a Shadow Ghost, they made a loss. So that's the reason you're not seeing it. That definitely isn't helping this funding situation. I'm watching on the Ghost right now. Mine is down there. I plug mine into the TV now, which is I quite like it. It runs 4K. My internet's pretty good on Infinite, so it goes up on the TV. It's pretty cool. Questions. Again, I just started speaking and didn't. Let me go back up. Pretty sure there were a lot of questions that I missed. So yes, no, they're saying this doesn't impact rollouts of Ultra and Infinite. People were like, I'm going to cancel my pre-order. Technically, if they find somebody to take it over in the next few months, then it shouldn't impact any of that. They'll just carry on with their current roadmap. Hopefully, whoever comes in to take it over, I know we've talked about a couple, like people calling HP out as a potential one. A couple of people said like Microsoft, no, they're already got their framework in place for xCloud. So it'd be interesting to see who is interested. It's, I don't know. It's not like, I knew people were going to say it's not going to be NVIDIA, because I'm pretty sure they're fine with the architecture for GeForce Now. I think it uses AWS, I'm not sure. Amazon, again, AWS, don't need it. Microsoft architecture is already in place. So it's going to be, I don't know, you'd think it would be someone like game related, but I don't know, somebody could just pick this up as an investment opportunity and try and sort out the business side of it, and they may have zero to do with gaming. It be weird. Like, I'm pretty sure one of for my day-to-day job, one of the which is also like a startup, which is why I know a little bit more about how the back end of this stuff works. I'm pretty sure one of our investors is like a Canadian fishing investor, and I'm in banking, so it, what I mean, it might be somebody completely like that. Apple or Facebook have started looking at how to do like mobile game streaming to phones. A couple of other people saying Epic, or wish it was Elon. Just a tweet from Elon would turn everything around. So yeah, my only concern, I stopped in the middle of that just some of the information or some of the language used around the question that I wanted answered, and he skipped over it a couple of times, and then one guy kept repeating it. I shot it out a couple of times. So this is what I really wanted to make sure, is they're saying this process of getting a new investor on board, buying it, taking on the debt, the legal side of that is going to take, I think he said a couple of months. I think Luke misspoke and said a couple of weeks. I think it would take a couple of months. So the main question was so 2CRSI, who currently hold the hardware that runs Shadow, and have put this information out about how much they're owed, and that they are contractually within their right to just take back the hardware and stop it running. They're saying they could do that. Shadow is saying no, they will hold on to it and keep running our services while we owe them money, while we look for somebody to come in and buy us and then pay them their debt. Business world isn't quite as friendly as that, so should I cancel the service? I don't personally think so. Huawei, watch out. GameStop stunks. Already said I'm going to buy it. I'm going to sell my shiny Charizard. By the way, I just pulled these out yesterday to have a look at, and I actually do think I have a few £1,000s of old Pokemon cards. It's not enough to consolidate their debt, but still. Netflix. then it literally would be the Netflix of gaming. That's the phrase everyone uses. Yeah, so definitely an interesting one. I don't really, like I said, usually with stuff like this, you know, if there's something coming up, big announcement, blah blah blah, we'll have a chat before. I'll have some kind of Netflix is AWS. Never mind. Yeah, I'll usually have some kind of information. As of now, I know the exact same as you guys. So yeah, like I said, what I'll probably do, I'll wait for those blog posts, the FAQs. I'll see if I can kind of put in a quick catch up inside and just see if there is anything else that they would tell me, but I doubt it. I don't think I'm under NDA for this type of stuff. I'll probably just do a recap video for this weekend for anyone who did miss this. So yeah, I'm going to jump off now because I've been talking for, well, including work, I've been talking for like 9 hours now. So I'm going to go eat and then, yeah, stay tuned and I'll try and recap this in a bit more of a eloquent fashion this weekend. So yeah, have a great evening and I'll speak to you all very soon.